Barbara, Breonna Taylor's boyfriend is asked questions immediately after the shooting. Mattingly, one of the police officers, was interviewed 2 weeks after the shooting. And the investigator, from the language that he used, seems to be on the side of the officer. Am I reading that incorrectly?
No, I think you are exposing one of the inherent problems in investigating these kinds of cases, Katie. The death of Breonna Taylor was such an unnecessary death, and listening to these recordings just brings that home. But it also brings home this great disparity in the questioning of suspects, and you can hear it in their voices. You can hear her boyfriend is incredibly distraught, very difficult for him to collect his thoughts, describing in the spur of the moment what has happened, whereas the officer, you can hear, very calm and collected. It's 2 weeks later. He's had time to think through the situation, to talk with others perhaps, to understand the scope of what's happened, to read media accounts. And so he's had time to prepare. You also hear a questioner who is essentially coaching him through the interview. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but did the following favorable things happen to you? And he just says, yes, that sounds pretty good. There's a reason leading questions are not allowed in court, and that's because it allows the questioner to coach the witness as to what to say.
So how might that interview and the footage that we just saw at the top be used in the investigation going forward?
Well, if there is to be a decision about charging either of any of these officers, these recordings can be used as their statements, as evidence. And I think it'll also be used to assess the legality of what happened at the time. One of the challenges in charging police officers is that they are used a standard that was articulated by the Supreme Court about what a reasonable officer would do under the situation, keeping in mind that you do not have the value of 20/20 vision that you have in hindsight. A situation is quickly evolving and often tense. And so I think all of those things will be considered. To me, the biggest mistake that occurred in this case was allowing the officers to enter this house at 1 a.m. Warrants should be executed during the light of day so that there is not this element of surprise where people are awakened during the night. And so that decision, I think, should also be part of what the investigators look at in deciding whether these officers acted reasonably.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.